YouTube? I'm back. It's been like at least almost a week. I noticed people have been watching the last 3 episodes of Way of the Warrior, better known as the Fight Game series. Now, in this final and fourth video, I'm going to give you 2 to 3 more styles of martial arts as I finish out the, final video. I promised you a fourth video, and I'm a man of my word. It was not easy to break down these styles. We're gonna show you how Judo works, and then what's the difference between Judo and Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, and then of course Jiu Jitsu to round it off. Now, as a bonus, we'll throw in wrestling because that can be considered a martial arts. Now, what I would like to say is thank you for you people who watched and supported the 3 videos. I did not anticipate the videos to get as many views as it did, and I even got a subscriber. Here's what I have to say. When you make comments, make sure you put them in English, because if you put them in fancy cursive writing, I can't read that. And you leave this big giant paragraph, and by the end of the day, as a YouTube content creator, when you make a big giant paragraph, that's like when you're in high school and college and you're taking an English class and your teacher be shaking their head like, why you leave this big giant paragraph? Or if you leave paragraphs, all you got to do is just leave me 1 to 2 paragraphs. If you're going to leave a giant paragraph, say what you got to say, and that's it. When you just go on and on and on, I have no idea what you're saying after you said what you said. So a person left me a big giant paragraphs, and they put it all in cursive. And it's one thing to put on paper, but when you put it in the comment section, I get the feeling you don't want me to read your comment. And if you put it in fancy writing and I can't read it, I'm going to do what a teacher do. Just delete the comment, because it makes no sense for you to leave a comment if you're not going to let me or anyone read your comment. That's why most YouTubers don't even try to read the comments no more. Because if you're putting it in cursive and people can't read the cursive, they don't want to bother reading the comments because it's a waste of time. Now on with the video appreciation. Now you do understand that YouTube requires me to tell you if my content is for kids or for not for kids, and it's for adults. So we're going to start the session. This is the final video. It depends how fast I can move through the workouts. Some videos might last 10 to 15 minutes. Some might last as 5 to 10 minutes. It all depends on what style I use to finish off the video. So let's try to get through this as quick as possible. Alright. As a martial artist, you always want to prepare for the unexpected. When you're in the streets, there's 2 rules. The first rule, there is no rules. The second rule is a fight can take place at any time, anywhere. Doesn't matter if you're at the park, you're at the bus stop, you're at the train station. Doesn't matter if you're coming from work or coming from school or going to work or coming to school 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. Now here's one rule that I've learned in the martial arts from all my senseis. Didn't matter which martial arts fighting style I incorporated. If a style is not working, you don't waste all your time, your energy in an encounter trying to make it work. See, when people watch movies, television shows, or they play fighting video games like Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter, they think they know how to fight. Trust me. People who do video games, they actually think they know how to fight. And when they get into a real fist fight, they just try to pretend they're Liu Kang or Johnny Cage or Raiden, and they get their ass whooped because they forget those are video games, those are movies, those are television shows. Real life's a little bit more complicated and difficult. If you try karate and it doesn't work, you don't keep trying karate. You have seconds to figure out what to do before the person pulls a knife on you, a gun. Even the police will tell you this. You only have about 30 to 60 seconds to get away from the person. If you have to attack, you attack, and then you run away, scream for help, and try to signal a police car if there's one in the area. You run into a security guard, and you get the security guard to call the police. Don't try to fight the attacker by yourself. Most people think they're Bruce Lee, or they think they're Goku, or they think they're Batman, and then they lose their life because they think like the movies, the TV shows, and the video games. I'm a martial arts expert, and I know 10 to 11 styles in a decade and a half, and most of the time, you don't see me try to finish these fights. If I finish the fight, great, fantastic. If I have to get help, like the police, because I don't want to get arrested and go to jail, I prefer to try to get the police involved. It's their job to diffuse a situation. In an event where there is no police, that might be the only time you might have to diffuse it yourself. Now let's get on to it. With Judo, Judo is a disciplined Olympic-style martial arts style. If applied right, you can grab the person. You can usually go for the thrust, so you can grab the head, and if you're very resilient, you keep your knee bent like this. You plant your pivot foot like basketball, and you'll take the opponent, and you'll grab the opponent like this with force. If you're right-handed, you're going to lead forward with force and make sure the back foot is very strong and powerful. If not, if the back foot is weak and powerless, the opponent can do this. The opponent can lean forward, head first, boom, and you can suffer an impact to the head if you try to pick up a person. You grab like this with the shoulder and the thrust, and you drop your opponent at full force, at full range, you drop your opponent. Now let's try if you're left foot and you want to try to throw a judo throw. Here you position your feet and you keep your feet like this. You keep it still. If it starts doing this, it's no good. Your opponent can just pick you up and bear hug you and slam you into the wall behind me. So keep it straight like this, and then make sure the back foot is planted good. Now when you go for a thrust, you pay attention and then you throw. You throw your opponent, doesn't matter if he's 2 times or 3 times your size. Now, there's another style of judo. This one you've probably seen in professional wrestling, and you've thought about wrestling being fake and staged, written, and rehearsed. But the move that they use in wrestling, if used on solid concrete, you could break a whole lot of bones in the body. You could break an arm, you could break a leg. You apply just enough pressure. Yeah, you might get hurt in the process, but both people will be hurt. The combatant will not be able to finish the attack because that person's in pain. We call this the hypnotoss, where you might have to go for a knee, and you grab the person, and when you grab the person, you can go like this. Boom. Now, when you go like this, you can even take your knee and go like that. Your opponent will not be able to stop you if you go for the face, the head, or the chest after dropping them on the floor. Now, we're going to switch from judo to Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. Now, in the art of combat, your opponent's not going to know what you're going to do until you know what you're going to do. Here, if a person throws a punch, you can grab the hand like this, and you can twist. If the hand starts doing this, you have a weak grab, a weak grip, and guess what the opponent can do? The opponent can break free and go boom, boom, and then you get whooped. So when the person comes with a right or a left, you can send them with the right. You grab, and then you lean forward, and when you lean forward, you can go in with a knee or a kick, doesn't matter. Take the opponent and drop. If you find yourself on the floor, you can do a weird naked shake like this. Your opponent will try to pick you up, but if you apply enough pressure, he's not going nowhere. He's going to be stuck here trying to figure out how to get away from you. So, you see the difference between judo and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. With Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, you can actually punch and kick. Judo, you disable movements. Your opponent can't punch, your opponent can't kick. So I'll show you another move that I learned in Judo. This one's called the wrestling bear hug. You will lock onto your opponent like this, and he'll be like this. He'll be immobile. So my opponent is immobile. He can't get free from my grip. And of course, you've seen in professional wrestling, they do this. They start to tap out because they have nowhere to go. You also can cut off their oxygen supply, what makes it hard for them to breathe. And when it's hard for them to breathe, they got two options. Pass out unconscious or tap out. If they don't tap out, you apply enough pressure, you can break an arm or a leg. They don't want the arm or leg broken, and they don't want to pass out, so they'll tap out to get out of it. So you see the difference between how this works. So I've explained to you how Judo works. I explained to you how Jiu-Jitsu works and how Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. See, Jiu-Jitsu is a combination of punching and kicking and twisting the arms. Judo, you can actually do a weird naked choke like you see in MMA, and that allows the combatant to be off balance and they can't fight back. Judo is a style they use in the Olympics. If you ever watch the Olympic Games, like in 2020 next year, that's a prime example on why you would want to watch Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Jiu-Jitsu, and Judo. And sometimes they have international martial art tournaments. And in these international martial art tournaments, they have one for karate, they have one for boxing, kickboxing. Believe it or not, they even have one for Judo and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Now in Judo, there's a time limit, there's a clock. You only have mere seconds, not minutes, mere seconds to finish pinning your opponent. You don't pin your opponent, you actually lose the match in Judo. So this should conclude the series. That's 4 videos. You can count how many styles of martial arts you think I've taught you. I made 4 videos for free. I taught you for free. Now, final lesson before closing the video. You're not going to learn this real fast, real quick. It's not like the movies, the TV shows, where they show a certain amount of time have passed by. In real life, martial arts is practice. If you practice playing basketball, football, or baseball, it could take you 3 months, 6 months, 9 months. It could take you 2 years. Well, martial arts is just like that. If you do karate and you're not getting the hang of karate, keep practicing karate, keep practicing kung fu, boxing, kickboxing, Muay Thai, Katanamata. Keep practicing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Jiu-Jitsu, Judo. Keep practicing the martial arts fighting styles. Keep practicing. It might take 3 months. It might take 6 months. It might take 9 months. It could take 5 years. And remember, you have to do the moves over and over until they click. The first time you do it, it's going to look weird, strange. It's not going to make no sense to you. It takes a while. Even if you go to a martial arts school and you look for an 8th degree black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, they're going to tell you the same thing I'm telling you. You don't just do martial arts and then everything works together. That's not how it works. It could take years of practice, hard work, and dedication. You practice basketball and football, martial arts is the same way. If you ever get into a real fight or a real encounter, just remember, don't be trying to waste 25 minutes, 30 minutes trying to do karate and it ain't working. You switch from karate to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or Jiu-Jitsu or Judo. If Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and Judo ain't working, you switch to Katanamata. You keep switching different fighting styles until one works. When you waste 30 to 60 seconds in an encounter, you don't get a second chance, you don't get a third chance to get this correct. Practice, you can mess up all you want in practice. In the real world, you only get one chance to get this correct. So, as your instructor, I have instructed you with some of the best fighting styles known to man. Now, I would make another video about how do you handle yourself using weapons, but that would take too much time and that would require too much money. And let's be honest, there are other YouTube videos that could show you that. And I do have specialized training in using weapons, but I don't think that's going to help you in these videos. So it's better to end on 4 videos. And we don't want YouTube to take the videos down. So these are some good videos. They're very educational, very instructive. You can use this if you're having trouble with a bully at school or at work. And remember, my martial arts is not for personal entertainment or for you to hurt people. It's for self-defense, to protect yourself. It's for men and for females. You don't have to be Bruce Lee. You don't have to be Goku from Dragon Ball Z. And you don't have to be Batman from the comic books. I'm just trying to explain to you that when some people do martial arts, they think they're Batman, they think they're Goku, and they think they're Bruce Lee. So until then, peace.